Firstly, welcome to the UE podcast, I guess. It's our first attempt to doing this. I've got a special guest with us today, Mr. Ken, who is one of the senior honchos at UBG. He's also been general there amongst a very distinguished career. So we'll talk about that in a second. But first of all, welcome to everyone. I hope you like the format. I hope it's not too boring for you. Let's just do a quick introduction now. So, as I said, this is Ken from UBG. Tell us a bit about yourself, Ken.
So, welcome to every one of our viewers. My name is Ken. I'm, like Rick said, I'm a responsible person in Malwinkel at the UBG. And I'm going to tell you today who I am because I want to visit the island, and you should know what the kind of storm is arriving the British Isles. And in that case, I want to tell the people that I'm a long player from our sport, and I play now since 2009. Started at the EBG, was what was taking place in Malwinkel before the UBG.
Well, should we just pause that? So let's go back. So for the people who don't know, what is UBG? You obviously got the logo behind you there. What is Malwinkel? What's UBG? Tell us about that stuff.
UBG is the United Big Game. It's the biggest paintball event in Germany. And we are playing woodland on an old Russian caserne, on an old military base. And we love that sport, and we are going to fight as hard as we can to bring UBG back to the good old times like the EBG was.
So you've mentioned EBG there as well. So let's just talk about the kind of actual facilities in the game itself. So what type of paintball is it? Is it it's not magfed, it's your kind of traditional paintball, hopper paintball, is that right? Is there any magfed there, or is it just this is it just for a hopper? How does it work?
No, it's a mixed game. So there is hopper and magfed as well. And
first strikes and things like that as well?
Exactly. We sailed this year a lot of first strikes because the people want to snipe perfectly, and you know how it is.
I took a couple to the head, so I know it. Yeah, absolutely.
And we have also two teams, like the sniper teams, where it is necessary to have a magfed marker to join. Yeah, and also a lot of other players are going to play with magfed, and magfed and hopper gaming as well.
So about the game itself, then you mentioned kind of it's an old military base, an old you say Russian, is it helicopter base? Is that true?
Exactly, it was an old helicopter base. It was, if I heard, the biggest base from the Russians in Germany.
Okay.
And we going to celebrate paintball there in another level. Yeah, it's very familiar, everything there. You know it, Rick. It was.
So I've obviously been there, looking at kind of like the infrastructure. There's a lot of kind of those old military styles, like semi-ruined buildings. There's a lot of atmosphere there. But also, I think you built quite a lot of infrastructure there in terms of the game itself, the trenches, the towers, that kind of stuff. Do you want to tell us a bit about that? Because I've obviously played there. It's an exciting place.
Yeah, we have the camping site with the trade show, and we built up a huge stage with a really nice show where we gave medals to the people. They are very brave, and I'm here right now with one of them. I gave you one of it, and we built up a huge party to celebrate. We are there for a couple of days, and we going to enjoy these days as much as we can. And a big part of it is the show on the trade and the show on the camping side.
Yeah, I mean, obviously on site there's some quite interesting kind of. There's like I'd call it like a Central European vibe to it. You've got those specific type of trees for the woods ball, but there's also these other open areas. There's big wind turbines in there, which you don't often see. Quite exciting, good to play around. There's also some small kind of there's lots of like Russian old buildings which are deserted, so you're fighting around in this kind of CQB stuff with Russian on the wall. It's pretty.
Don't forget the tower, man.
Yeah, exactly. Loads of cool stuff there. So I think it's a pretty exciting site. I mean, obviously, I'll show some stuff on the screen so you know exactly what we're talking about. But yeah, it's a pretty big site. We're obviously talking about the biggest game. What kind of numbers are you talking?
thousand, more than
1,000.
thousand. Next year we are going to wait around about 1,250, 1,300.
Mm.
That would be very nice for us. I have a lot of nice, I can say that, um, Beurteilung, responsibilities from the people
Yep.
that they said it was a huge and a very nice big game, and we definitely came back next time. And also people they never been to us here from this big game, and they said we need to go over there. We need to play on these old military base to
Mm.
celebrate paintball in a new way. Yeah, and I
Yep.
personally stands for it. You know myself now,
For
and
those of you who've like kind of maybe only played kind of the more sports, like the speedball side of things, I mean, there is something special about doing it at a military base, and I know that a lot of the milsimmers are very into that kind of thing. It's it is quite special when you're there. I mean, you've obviously got a lot of the old military vehicles. One of my favorite touches is obviously the Germans. They're quite into it, and a lot of them have done military service and so forth. I love for those people who don't know about this is there's a bunch of kind of, I guess you'd call them cosplayers who get dressed up as military police and they go around pretending arresting people. It's quite immersive when you're in there. It's lots of fun that.
yeah,
So,
this the part of the show where I'm talking about the camping site
mm,
because the military police is on their way to make a good LARP gaming,
yep.
and they going to arrest you if you are good with it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. We know that we there was I think there was a competition for stealing the police's berets, wasn't there? Which I thought it was really funny. But yeah, I mean it's a pretty cool event. So forget UBG for a second. Let's talk about you. What's your history in kind of paintball? How long have you been doing it for? Are you in a team? Give us some background about that.
Yeah, I'm from the team K.O.G. It calls in the English language it's Killers Without Mercy.
Mm,
And we playing since we are was 14 on video games and
mm,
Counter-Strike stuff like that, and we named us the Killers Without Mercy. And from that point, yeah, we was into the shooting scene, I want to say.
mm,
And of course, in 2009, it hits me personally when I was first time in Malwinkel, and from that point, I loved that sport. And we was also in other fields of like Veckring, yeah,
mm.
Veckring. Also here nearby side, it was Wetzlar, where we played a lot of paintball, and we loved it to being there. We loved the family, the paintball family, and for us, it was clear that our team will, yeah, take action in this into the sport. We are
Mm.
all now from we are young from our young ages. We have friends, and our team came into paintball, and we play since today. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
till today, and
So what age groups? Is it young and old in COG or is it or
yeah,
KOG too? Yeah,
because in
mixture.
my exactly in my personal passion, it's for me very important to bring up also the young ages into the
Mm.
sport, and this is also the reason why we bring up on UBG. I'm sorry,
Yep,
you told me I need to forget it, but in Germany the law is very hard for playing paintball before 18,
yep.
and we bring everything what we can, what the lawgiver gives us to make every also for the young ages paintball interesting. And this is the reason why we all have on the K.O.G, so the name of my team. We have young players from the
Mm.
age of 14 till, uh, yeah, for an example, like our Daniel, he's 45.
It's interesting because obviously having been to we've obviously been to a lot of events, both of us, but I've been to Marwinkle a few times. There's quite a few like families almost. I mean, I don't mean literal, but often it is literally a family. But you get groups where it's everyone from the 5-year-old kid all the way up to the granddad, and all their friends combined. There's a few kind of teams like Valhalla. I've seen COG, and there was there's a few. I think there's a Dutch team. There's a whole. You see them, they turn up as like a crew, and it's the whole family. There's the wives, the husbands, there's the family, the granddad. You know, for some people, it's sitting in a field and drinking beer all day and catching some sun. For some people, it's running around. It is quite a family atmosphere, which I think is pretty cool.
This is exactly what we are standing for because we
Mm,
are realizing the signs, and we said we want to give the opportunity to families to enjoy the whole event
mm,
also as a family. And this is the reason why we said if they have kids, for an example, if you have kids and you want to go to play paintball for a couple of days, you can give your kids away just for playing paintball, you know?
okay.
So this is the
Yeah.
reason why we said bring your kid with you. Yeah.
We'll
Come
talk about this
over.
in a second, but I think it's such an important attitude. For example, the Portugal big game, it's almost like a we have a joke about it that it's a bit of a crash. There's so many kids hanging around, and like I didn't this year when we were walking around the campsite, like I said, a lot of families, and I think it's a really good thing because it's inclusive, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone's there. So we've talked a bit about UBG. Like I said, it's one of my favorite events. I mean, UE, my team, we've been there quite a few times now. I think it's 5 times in
Yeah.
total.
Rick, maybe the people are interested where we met the first time.
Well, I was going to say we play around Europe, and we were talking about this before we came on. We think the first time we met was in a mutual game called Veckring.
Yeah.
Tell us about Veckring. What's your experience with that, and where's that?
Yeah, Veckring is a very special place for me because it's very near, and we played there paintball in a very hard way. You remember, take the
Mm.
cuisine, take the kitchen, nehmt die Küche.
So,
It's our joke, and we met there first time. You know
mm,
how nice the field is. I
yep.
love them. Mikhail, also the owner of Veckring, is also a
Mm.
very nice guy, and we love to enjoy paintball there. Yeah,
So just to back up a bit there, like I mean, Veckring is a site that's kind of on the border of France and Germany.
exactly. Yeah.
It's another kind of World War II, World War One kind of
Yeah.
semi-deserted set of buildings.
First was a
Veckring
German
itself is
base.
this it's a tiny village with about 10 people who live there, but there's this mad, like several hundred people, I think it's about 400 people capacity paintball game. And it's run by Mikhail, like you said, and he's kind of like got this family of his, I think it's his partner, Nastya. She's great at the promotion and everything, and it kind of brings together. They have like a very rock and roll environment there, so it's a bit, it's uh,
I
it's
would
pretty
say the
cool.
same, yeah. And
Yeah,
they have really nice organizing or organization because for an example the loudspeakers
yep,
with the voice where everything is tell they tell you
yep.
everything with that we adapt it and bring
Well,
it up also to the UVG. Yeah?
I think what you're kind of touching on a thing I probably want to talk about with paintball when you play internationally, and like you'll know this, there's a lot of English people I know or British people who want to go abroad and so forth. And what you see is that everyone's got their own little specialty. And
Yeah.
the Veckring one, in fact, I've got the sticker up there. There's one of those is the Veckring horn. The next game starts in 15 minutes, and they
Yeah.
have these big speakers literally wired the whole size of it. So even if you're sat next to your car or in your campsite, it's telling you, red team, go to this base in 15 minutes in like several different languages.
And
The
this
games
is the
flow
point.
because of it.
You say it 100%. Everything got its own touch, and
Yep.
this is the reason why, for me, it's very important to moving next year to England. You
Mm.
know, was planned for this year already, but a lot of situations, yeah, came between. But next year, I will go to Great Britain because I want to know the English gameplay, the art of English gameplay. And this is
Well,
the reason why I want to go to the British Isles and want to know everything about it.
we've invited you over, and obviously you're welcome in. And this is an open invite to all the other teams in Germany and abroad and so forth to come and get involved. Get in contact with us. We'll help you out.
Yeah,
This
but
year,
I want to say also in that case that we build up the expeditions and we
mm,
are editing a lot of for the big games in Mayhem, for example, or North
yep.
with the South, and we want to bring also the people from the continent directly to England to play a hardcore game ball.
Well, what you'll notice about the British style, I mean, it does depend on each game, of course, but North versus South, historically, and it tends to be a pretty aggressive game, like very high intensity, but also Jim, who's the guy who runs it, he's very clever at his game organization. So usually there's no way of achieving a stalemate. He does lots of mobile respawns. He makes it difficult for you. So you've got to be a smart, fast, dynamic player. And
Hmm.
uh, Lazarus came over as like an expedition, not this year, but the year before. And
Yeah.
the amount of dynamic changes we were doing, like the constant, like, 4-dimensional chess you had to play to stay on top of what was going on. It
You
was
told me.
it was really, really good game. I think one of the not the worst. It's a bit stale when you just go into a field. There's a front line, one side's attacking the other. I mean, sure, you can have some fun with that, but really, what happens if the enemy drop behind you? What happens if they're allowed to respawn behind you? Or what happens if they can move their respawn flag to do it's things like that which make the game dynamic. And to go back to what you're
Of
saying,
course.
Veckring and the kitchen joke, which we'll explain in a second, all these different games have their different ideas on how to play the game. And as a player, when you go abroad, you learn. This is one way of doing it. This is here's a solution to that problem I've never thought about. It's really, I mean, we've learned a lot from the German UBG games for sure, but I think you'll be excited when you come to the UK because it's different style.
100%. 100%. I'm very excited to see it. I couldn't wait from last year, and now I have to wait another year, and
Mm.
I'm pretty upset about this. But as much time came between, I'm more excited. I'm be yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, let me tell the viewers the story about the kitchen. So, Ken here was obviously general for UBG, so we built up a proper, good friendship with a few other teams as well. Where there's NRW and a few others, and you guys came to Veckring in quite a big crew. It was really, really good. And for those of you who've not been to these kind of games before, what that means is, you get 30, 50, 70 guys. They'll all show up. They'll all camp together. They get and everyone brings their own little unique identity. So we'll
Mhm.
show up with, the tea and the English beer and and all the stuff we'll do. And then the Germans will show up and they'll have like a keg. We'll all get the gazebos out. You had this amazing setup where you about 10 tables in a row, and it looked like an old German beer keller. You're all sat there chugging your Warsteiners and whatever it was you were.
It
I was
was a
like,
beer keller.
yeah, I was like, are we actually going to play, or are you just going to get drunk all day? I think a few of the guys just came to drink all day,
Of
didn't they?
course, man. You know how it is. A lot of people want just to enjoy and want to play a bit paintball
Mm,
by side, and But I take it very serious. You
mm,
take it very serious too. This is also a reason why we love each other, and yeah, if we go on an expedition like that
yeah,
with 70 people around about, then we want to play for the victory. Yeah, this is
absolutely,
clear.
yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, Ken's
The same
running.
in England, guys.
Yeah, oh, of
I'm
course, yeah,
coming to win. I'm coming to conquer.
amazing. So, the story goes, Ken's kind of running this whole like German and kind of Dutch group, and we're like, right, well, we're going to hang out with those guys. We'll get involved in that like platoon or whatever you want to call it. And Ken's like, right, what we need to do to get this next objective, we're going to take the kitchen. And there's a massive firefight going on.
Oh,
And Ken's trying to motivate us. He's just going for about 20 minutes going, take the kitchen, get in the kitchen, take the kitchen. And so his nickname has become in UE, he's the chef. He's Gordon Ramsay. And so whenever we see him, it's like, get in the kitchen.
guys, I need the kitchen to cook. I need the kitchen to cook our opening.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
man, I love it. I love it.
yeah. This is what you notice is if you go to your kind of standard walk-on events, often you're just an anonymous person. When you start attaching and meeting people from abroad, all of a sudden you're part of a bigger collective. And this is what you notice when you go to UBG, when you go to Veckring, whatever. You bump into all people. North versus South, for me, it's like going back to school and you're seeing your old friends. It's like coming back after the summer holidays, like, oh mate, how's it been? Not seen you in ages.
Rick, this
I
is the
love it.
reason why I'm wearing a red shirt today
Yep.
because I want to collaborate with the South.
The Team South. Very good. I like it. Good loyalty.
But I have a personal question to you, man. You're playing in every field you're visiting. You're playing the red side, except
No, no, it's
UBG, or
it's normally the friends or people we know. So, for example, we
okay,
were on Blue World Order. We were on the blue team at UBG,
yeah,
which was who you general last time, wasn't it?
yeah,
So we played blue again this year. I played North versus South. We played Team South. UE is actually from all over the country, so I'm
yeah.
actually from the north of the UK. But because a lot of us are from the south, and the joke is that we're sellouts, so we just whoever pays us most we'll go and play with. We play for the
Ah.
South at North versus South. Um, I can't remember who we were at. Were we red or blue at Veckring? I think we were. We
Red.
red, yeah, we were red. So
Yeah.
Somi, who's one of our UBG friends, shout out to Somi in the French Legion. He said he wants to play with us this year. So I think we've got some new partners in crime at Veckring this year, which should be
I'm
good.
pretty sure, and the French Legion want to come to the Isles too,
Yep.
because yeah, they want to. I heard about that they want to finish what Napoleon starts.
The cheek of it. The cheek of it.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kidding, man. It's the
No, no.
continental humor.
So let's talk about like obviously I've got you on here. You're an expert here. We can talk about our good times all day. Other games in Germany and kind of like that part of Europe. There's Paintship Troopers who a few of my team are well into. Have you ever done Paintship Troopers?
No, never
No,
been.
I've heard good things. I'll
Of
talk to
course,
those about it, but
of
I've heard good
course,
things
yeah.
about SBG. Now we've done this. That's on your list to do as well, isn't it?
This is also on my list. Yeah, I want to now connect me with the people over there and
Mm.
want to go to visit it too because I heard from a very good organization and I want to see it on my own. Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to see it. I want to, like I told you, Sean, in other conversations we had, that from 2014 I want to visit Poland and yeah, play a very strong paintball there and
Mm.
I want to see it. Um, yeah, let us go
Yes.
forward together.
I've only been once. So Andre, who's from Paintball, he's
Yeah.
one of the main kind of like main forces in Portuguese paintball. He's been there quite a few times, and he recommended it to us. So we've been once, and we had a great time. It was really good. They do a couple of big games throughout the year for different aims. One is kind of MagFed, or a couple of them are MagFed. We go to the mixed one, which is in
Hmm.
September, and yeah, we had a really good time. So I mean, there's a review up on our website which you can have a look at and see the news. But if all goes to plan, we'll be there this September, and we'll have a video for you all. So we'll have to make sure we hook up whenever you're
I'm,
available to go.
I love to hear you report, man.
Mm. So, in terms of international games, what's your advice? Because you've been abroad a bit, I've been abroad a bit. What's your advice to new players who are thinking about playing abroad? Because obviously, I see it
Up,
from the
up.
Isles, from Germany. And what's it like for you?
Yeah, you need to go everywhere, guys. And I want to go to Greece as well to
Mm,
play paintball there in an old uh, German. I don't know. It was just a German position in an
mm,
old hotel. They left it after World War II, and you can play there too.
mm.
Uh, there are a lot of nice experience you can make abroad. So it is a duty to came on the continent. And as well for us on the continent, it is a duty to move up to England to celebrate the sport with our English brothers and sisters.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're going to try and hold the door open for you, make sure you get through the border because it's not going so well for us right now. But
But
we'll
it's
do
not
our best.
that difficult. It is really not that difficult. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's now for us in Germany. We're pretty much in the middle of Europe.
Mm,
It's very comfortable for us to move up to the other fields. But yeah, I'm pretty sure for the British people, it's just no problem to move up to
yep.
Veckring, for an example, to move up with the Universal Export teams to celebrate, yeah, on the continent because you can um, you can discover a lot of in the other countries, yeah.
Mm.
Paintball, for an example, yeah. It's also a duty for me to move there.
So what we do, just like as an overview of people who don't really understand what kind of goes on. Um, a lot of people in the mindset of like it's miles away, it's in a foreign country, it's difficult. The Channel Tunnel makes things quite easy. Also, flights make it quite easy if you can get them sorted out right. But
Mm.
here's something for you to think about. If you're in the south of England, maybe Guildford or South London or somewhere like that, you're closer to France than you are to Yorkshire. And if you wanted to drive from London to Veckring, it's about the same time, maybe a tiny bit longer than it is to Scotland. So when you think of it like that, it's not as far away as you think. You can easily get from, let's say, London to Veckring in one day. You take Friday off, you're having a beer with some French people that evening. That's how easy it is. So it's not as big a commitment as you think. You can do this on a long weekend. It's these kind of days. Now, obviously, if you're going to drive to Portugal or fly to Portugal, you need to get the dates and the flights and the
But the
distance,
people
right?
can connect with you. It's no problem, man. You are
Yep.
so helpful, and you're visiting every event on the continent. So
Mm.
it should be easy for England to build up an
Yep.
expedition corps, like in the old good old days, and visiting the continent again.
Yeah. Well, it's about
And
time.
guys, I promise you, we Germans, we will don't do anything to you.
Yeah. Last time we had to make a visit that was a bit
No,
uncomfortable.
we play together, guys. We play
No, it
together.
was. This is the other thing, which you'll probably get the kind of it's a bit of a love off here. That people are so friendly when you come and visit them. It's so important to notice. You show up. A lot of people in Germany speak English. Even in France, they try their best. Which is where it's often they'll learn like German as second
Ah,
language.
they try their best to speak English. I don't know.
Yeah, but like
Show me for an example, 100%. Yeah.
but Portugal as well. Let me tell you a funny story about. If you go to Holland, you can speak any language you want because they all speak 20
This is
languages.
true.
It's
Yeah,
it's
man, this is
incredible.
crazy, huh? They're
I'll,
very
I'll,
good educated.
it's crazy smart people are Dutch.
Mm,
Let me give you a an example. This is so I speak passable French. I can order a beer. I can talk to someone. I can shout someone behind the
order a beer.
barricade.
This is my sign, man. So guys,
Exactly.
cheers. I need to drink more.
So anyway, I run up behind the barricade, and there's a guy there, and I'm at Veckring. So I'm running up. We're trying to take the kitchen. Chef's on my back, trying to give me orders. I'm like, right. So in French, I say to him, right, go left, get the next barricade, get some crossfire in. Guy looks at me, he's like, English? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I explain to him, he's like, and I hear he's got a Dutch accent. I'm like, but aren't you Dutch? I thought you all spoke 5 languages. He's like, not me. I only speak 4 languages.
Only, huh?
Yeah, so that's what you get. When you go abroad, people are very friendly. It's easy to fit in and so forth. So for all the British people watching, just get it done. There's so many people who'll take you under their wing and take you out there.
Of course.
There are
I
these
mean,
mega teams like Northern Alliance. We obviously go quite a lot. Direct contact. If you reached out to, for example, Bertel at SBG will look after you. If you reach out to UBG, they'll help you out. There's it, people are people are crying out for people to come to paintball
of
games.
course, we have a good old traditional friendship to the British Isles, yeah.
Yep.
Because if I take for an example the Northern Alliance, yeah,
Mm.
they were Germans, guys from the Netherlands, from the British Isles, all over. They are good friends since 20 years, you know. But it's the old guard. We need new players. We need hot players. They're fighting for victories.
Well,
So,
this is an
guys,
interesting thing, actually. You kind of onto my last point. I think part of the reason why we started this podcast and so forth is to get people to see what it's like because it can become a bit cliquey. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but when you've got old friends hanging out together,
yeah.
yeah, cool, let's hang out together. What we need is that new blood. And I think that's what we need to get into the game because there's these games across Europe. A lot of people are scared to put their foot in, and I think it's easy. We should be encouraging them
Yeah, I'm pretty
about.
sure that paintball missed that moment where they need to put a lot of effort inside about the youth because in the beginning paintball was growing so fast that it was unimaginable that we
Mhm.
came one day to this point where where we are searching for new players because it was a lot of but a lot of players they changed their lifestyle, etc., etc. And this is the reason why we need to take action for our with our possibilities to build up a new circle
Yep.
and to make everything much more interesting.
Oh, yeah, it's quite a positive note to kind of talk about that. Like, yeah, I think I mean to kind of let's kind of like summarize this then, because obviously we've got big games all across Europe. We've just established that, like, they're pretty epic to be fair, and you'll have seen the pictures I've been flashing across. But I mean, some of the video footage I've got of like flashbangs going off, people are fighting, you're starting a trench, people are charging. It's a real adrenaline thing. It really is for an exciting thing for people. That is such a good product. And I think getting more people into it and kind of being positive and hooking people in to allow them to do it, that's the aim of this. And I think
Yeah.
it's such a good product that we'll be able to get people to, like I said, move forward and kind of push the sport to the next generation. That's the key
But
thing.
it seems, Rick, that we're on a good way. We're on a blessed way.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure that people will follow they will
hopefully
follow the
so.
calls from the generals from England. They will follow the calls from the generals from the continent.
Right. So let's summarize then. So, um, first of all, thanks for being on this little podcast here. This is Ken. Really appreciate it. If you do get the chance, get to UBG. It's obviously a great event. He's involved in the kind of senior management of it all, and and we've already talked about how there's videos being edited right now as we speak. So hopefully you'll enjoy the review. But it was an absolute blast this year. And I think it's such a strong move in a positive direction this year. So
Yeah,
really good
man.
job to you, and hats off
Thank
to
you,
the
man.
organization at UBG. So I strongly recommend it. But thanks for being on the show. Thanks for reaching out to everyone as well.
Thank you for inviting me, man. I
Well,
appreciate it too.
hopefully we'll see you in the UK next year, but if not, we'll see you
Yeah.
around Europe like Veckring and places.
What do you mean with if not, man? Only death
Definitely,
can stop me.
man. Right.
This year, you saw, man, it was necessary to move up like this, yeah, because of the organization. We need to build up everything new, and that took some lot of time. And then North with the South was 1 week before the UBG, but this time we have a lot. Next time we have a lot of much more time between the two events. That for me, it's clear that I'm going to visit North with the South to support the South, to support the Red Side, to support General Rick like he supported me.
So I think for the new people, to summarize as well, like listen to the passion we got there. There's new people coming to the sport, and the games that there's like the opposite of a downward. There's like an upward spiral. Infrastructure is amazing at UBG, big improvement. I saw the same at SBG from what I heard from Andre. Veckering improved a lot this year on previous years. I think it's going in a good direction. So
Yeah,
if everyone can keep moving up that same momentum and everyone can keep improving, I think everyone's going to have a great time.
I'm pretty sure.
Awesome. Let's call it there, mate. Love to see you.
Guys, thank you very much. We see us.
See you soon. I'll take the kitchen as soon as I can.